Hi, you guys. So my name is Katie, and this is going to be a 2 to 10 minute Who Knew Truth Boom. And today, or for this segment, we are going to be talking about our government. What kind of government do we have today, right? So let's go back and let's talk about, first and foremost, what kind of government did our founding fathers give us? So our founding fathers gave us a constitutional republic where the men and women were supposed to self-govern according to natural and common law. We will talk about lawful jurisdictions in the next episode. But for today, our constitutional republic was men and women self-governing according to natural and common law. Okay? And that would have been called a de jure form of government. I'm going to use my handy dandy Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition, and read you the definition for de jure. De jure. It is not soup de jure. We're not talking about the government of the day. We're talking about de jure, which means descriptive of a condition in which there has been total compliance with all requirements of law, of right, legitimate, lawful, of right, and just title. In this sense, it is contrary to de facto. So the rightful, lawful type of government that our founding fathers gave us was a constitutional republic. It was a republic where we were to self-govern, and nothing quite like it had ever been done ever before in the history of government, of any government in the world. Okay? So there's a lot of talk out there today about a change in our government. What happened? A lot of stuff happened around the Civil War. So that's going to require you to do a little bit of research. But there was something called the Organic Act of 1871, which changed things a little bit in Washington, D.C. Our country was in a mess, and all kinds of stuff was happening with the international banking world in our country. All right? So today, our country is no longer a constitutional republic. The powers that be really don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know what has transpired in our government and how it has changed over the decades. So we have gone from a de jure, lawful form of government to a de facto form of government. So now I'm going to read the definition for de facto. Okay? De facto. 2 definitions. Simply de facto means in fact, indeed, actually. This phrase is used to characterize an officer, a government, a past action, or a state of affairs which must be accepted for all practical purposes, but is illegal or illegitimate. So let's go further down. They actually have a definition in this dictionary for de facto government. What is a de facto government? Well, it is one that maintains itself by its display of force against the will of the rightful legal government and is successful, at least temporarily, in overturning the institutions of the rightful legal government by setting up its own in lieu thereof. So if you've watched all my other truth booms, you will know that in America, everything flip-flopped 180 degrees when the people declared their independence in 1776, right? So who is the government? We are the government. We, men and women, are the sovereign power. We create governments. We abolish governments. We correct governments. We change governments. We hold all of the power and authority as living men and women. So who is the subject? The government. or the public servants. We elect them to fill positions or seats within the federal government to provide services for us. That's what they're supposed to do, and there's parameters and rules that they have to follow. So we don't have that anymore. We all became truly slaves or subjects again with the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment made us unwittingly all subjects of the government again, or subjects to the king, right? So we went from a de jure form of government that our founding fathers gave us, to a de facto, unlawful, illegal form of government, which currently today is actually a foreign for-profit corporation. Now, there can be a lot of discussion as to if that was the Organic Act of 1871, because that then was supposedly repealed and blah, blah, blah. But down in the links below, I am going to provide you a link where you can go right in and you can see that every state is a subsidiary corporation to our federal corporate government, which is a foreign for-profit entity. So after you listen to me, go have some fun digging around in the links below. So any way you slice it today, our government is illegal, unlawful, de facto, and it should not be that way. The people need to learn, and us people, men and women living, there's a whole bunch we need to learn. So keep listening to my truth bombs. You can also learn, you can also learn by purchasing this book, right? I have been studying and researching now for pretty much 6 years solid, the last 2 or 3 years pretty much full time. And I've written this book. This is volume 1 of hopefully several, because when I was learning, I had to piece it all together. So this is hopefully piecing it together for you guys. It's a great introduction, and everybody, every man and woman should be able to answer these questions, especially those people running for public office. Nothing's going to get better simply by voting the people you like into office. Our public servants need to know what has transpired. They need to know what applies to living men and women and what doesn't, because pretty much every statute, act, and code out there does not apply to you or me. So, in a republic, okay? This is your 8.5 minute truth boom. Who knew?